So let me take one example. The example is that one team is trying to collect the number of mistakes they are making in recording the invoices. Every day they collect 100 invoices. Of course, I'm talking about the sample. So team decided to pull a random sample of 100 invoices per day, and the number of mistakes the recorded are also noted down, and the data from the last 25 days are given in the table. So this is basically the table. You can see that day number is given from 1 to 25. So this is 25. Invoices inspected indicates your sample size and sample number. So sample number is from 1 to 25, and every day 100 invoices are inspected for the number of defectives. So out of 100, if in this case on the first day 22 invoices are defective. Similarly, on day 2, out of 100 invoices inspected, there are 33 defective invoices. Defective may have more than one defect also, right? And so on. The number of defective items or defective invoices are recorded for the period of 25 days. So using this information, the fraction defective can be computed easily. That is nothing but 22 by 100, that will give you fraction defective. So in this fashion, fraction defective for all the 25 days is computed. Please remember that we are going to use this particular value, right? 0.22, 0.33 and so on, or in terms of percentage it will be 22%, 33%, 24% and so on. So for drawing a control chart, we are going to use fraction defective values. So this, as I told you, this data will be used to construct a P control chart. The subgroup size is n equal to 100. Every day the sample size is 100. The P value for each subgroup, that means for each day, have been calculated and are shown in the table. For example, for day 1 there were 22 defective items found in 100 invoices inspected, and therefore P will be equal to, as I told you, 22 by 100 or 0.22 or 22%. In this fashion, all the 25 days proportion is computed. The P value for other days are also calculated similarly. Now the 3 sigma control limits. The next step is to compute 3 sigma control limit. Now we know that when the standards are not given, the 3 sigma control limit will be calculated using the estimated value of P, and estimated value of P we know that is P bar. So to determine the average, we add up all the values of NP values and divide by the sum of all N values. The sum of all NP values, if you add that third column, is 621, and the sum of all N values is 2500. Naturally, every day 100 values, so 25 days values will be 2500. The average is then calculated as shown below. So P bar will be equal to 621 upon 2500, which is equal to 0.248 or 24.8%. N is equal to 100. A is nothing but 3 by root n, that is equal to 0.3. So using this much of information, now we can basically calculate the 3 sigma control limit. So 3 sigma control limit, we know that is nothing but CL, that means central line, which is equal to P bar, which is equal to 0.248 or 24.8%. Then upper control limit, we know that is nothing but P bar plus A into square root of P bar into 1 minus P bar, and if we put all those values, then you will get this value is equal to 0.378 or 37.8. Similarly, lower control limit also computed, which comes out to be equal to, in this case, as 11.8%. So lower control limit is 11.8%, upper control limit is 37.8%, and central line is 24.8%. So all these values will be plotted on the graph. Similarly, all the P values which we have computed in the table are also plotted to check whether there exists any unwanted variation. So this is basically the graph which is generated because of these values. So UCL is nothing but 37.8, LCL, that is lower control limit, is around 11.88, then the center line is around 24.8%, and then all this blue line is nothing but your p values. So if you remember, for the first sample the value was around 22, so this is that particular value. In this fashion all the 25 values will be plotted, and then we will check whether any value is going outside the control limit or not. Now you can see that here the variation, if we examine, it lies within this particular control limit. Since all the values are within the control, we conclude that the process is in statistical control. So in this fashion you can basically calculate or check whether the process is under statistical control or not using P chart.